Here after calling the first 30 picks of this draft, and first and foremost, Adam, it's just great to see you back. I know the place you wanted to be was there in Boston, handing the trophy over to the Golden State Warriors like you have done so many times in the past, but just to ask you how you are feeling now at this point.
I'm feeling great. Thanks for asking. I'm a little hoarse, I think, with the tail end of the COVID I had. I mean, I managed to avoid it for 2+ years, but I think it was inevitable. Unfortunately, lousy timing came right during the finals. But
Kids didn't get it yet, did they?
One of them did,
oh.
but I not from me. She had it a while ago.
Upset with you.
And but you know, thank God for vaccines and boosters. It was mild. Felt kind of crappy for one day, and then I recovered pretty quickly. But thanks for asking.
Let's go with a take foul. Something that may be discussed this summer?
And it's being discussed. As you know, we had a rule in place in the G League for the last few years because, for whatever reason, PJ, you've been around the game for a long time, some of these things that there would always take fouls, but these transition take fouls just became sort of a regular issue in the game, and I think it's a part of the game that we'd like to eliminate. And it's worked in the G League. It seems like the competition committee is in agreement. Ultimately, to change a rule, it has to be voted on by our board of governors. We're meeting in July in Las Vegas around the Summer League, but I anticipate we will have that rule change.
Commissioner Silva, I'm going to go personal first. I was drafted 29th in 1995. I didn't come to the draft, so I need a picture before we leave so I can recreate that moment.
Corey, whenever you're ready. You know, I was at that draft.
Well, you've been in the league since 92. And
right.
So, and one of the things I want to talk to you about is you have a great scope on the league with former players, with current players, this, that, and other. And as you look at the climate between the older guys, the older guard, and the younger players, especially guys in the media, the back and forth, how much of an influence does that having social media have on that? But also, is that something that concerns you at all, or you think that's good for the league?
I think it's largely good for the league. I mean, of course, it gets out of hand once in a while, but I think generally the guys are having fun. And in terms of the generations, you have guys like yourself, former players who are commentators on TV. You have something that's more in vogue. You have current players, Draymond Green. You now have C.J. McCollum, who's working on ESPN and talking about the current league, which I actually think is very helpful to have those guys there and giving that perspective. I think it's really interesting for the fans as well. Social media, I think our players are creatures of their generation. You know, guys coming into the league at 19, 20 years old, that's what 19 and 20-year-olds do. They're on social media all the time. I mean, I also recognize there's an aspect of it that can be harmful. And I'm not talking now specifically about NBA players, but we all see the data on this that young people are on social media too much. It can lead to depression and anxiety. I mean, so it's something that we have to look after because particularly coming through COVID, and it's this generation of players coming to our league, they were isolated a lot. They weren't around other students or young people the way we all traditionally were. So we can't turn the clock back. It's not going away. But we've focused a lot more in the last few years on the mental wellness of our players, and this is one aspect, and I think we got to be really careful here.
Yeah, Commissioner Adam Silver joining us right here as we're discussing, you know, again, what Draymond calls new media, but obviously players getting very much involved in talking about the sport, promoting the sport, and what social media can also do is create debate. So while we have you here, is Steph Curry a top 10 player? You want to get into that one? Like, do you want to join that debate? Because you know that has I can't believe how much that has become such a hot button topic in the sport after you guys have this 75th anniversary.
I mean, for me, and I sort of live in the moment, 4 championships in 8 years, and he's still at it.
Right.
So I would say yes. You know, and his body of work isn't over. I mean, to me,